Sierra has all the best active and outdoor brands you need. From athletic stuff, like a full court pickup game, swish, to athletic-ish stuff, like a half-mile stroll. Get those steps in. And for morning hikes up the mountain trail, good pace. To nighttime ghost stories from the camping chair. What a twist. Whatever level of active, Sierra loves it all. Head to Sierra or Sierra.com for the brands you want at the prices that let you do it all. From athletic to athletic-ish, Sierra's got it.
This episode is brought to you by Athletic Brewing Company. No matter how you do game day, on the couch, in the crowd, or manning the snack table, Athletic Brewing fits right in. With a full lineup of non-alcoholic beer styles, you can enjoy bold flavors all game long. No hangovers, no buzz, no subbing out for water in the second half. Stock the fridge for tip-off with a variety of non-alcoholic craft styles available at your local grocery store or online at athleticbrewing.com. Your beer, fit for all times.
We're here because your heightened awareness deserves heightened entertainment. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Aristotle, Galileo, Isaac Newton, Einstein. These are the scientific giants who expanded the boundaries of human knowledge. And tonight, we're going to add another name to that list. I am here, lucky, because one of the scientists who finally invented the smart underwear that measures your farts that you needed to have is here. Yes, really. And it's actually science we're going to discuss. I'm joined by microbiologist and professor at the University of Maryland, Brantley Hall, to discuss his new smart underwear. Brantley, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
I don't even know what to say. I'm beside myself that you have decided to come on the show. I'm not a smart technology person. I have a smartphone, but that's about it. I won't wear a watch. I won't wear a heart monitor. I won't do any of it. What you have created, I might get. If it were available. I'm not sure it is. Let's talk the fart counter underwear. Why did you create this? Why did you think to yourself, this is what science needs right now?
There's a huge gap in our understanding of intestinal gas. Very few studies have measured it objectively, and they involve very invasive methods like rectal tubes. So we needed a way to capture like the actual experience of intestinal gas in people's day-to-day life. So we developed our wearable device that snaps onto any underwear, and you can capture the daily patterns of human flatus for the first time.
So how often we fart a day? This is a serious medical question for any, radio regulators listening, trying to get me in trouble. Why do we need to know that? Side note, in the lab, is pulling the finger involved during any of the clinical trials?
Great question. So 1 in 5 people experience excess intestinal gas, and disorders like IBS are very common. But when a patient goes to their doctor, they just have to tell them, trust me, I have excess gas. And the doctor doesn't necessarily believe that, right? Because they don't have a objective baseline of whether the person's farting too much or not. So the patients feel unseen by their doctors. The doctors feel frustrated because they don't know whether the treatments they're prescribing are actually working or not. So there's a really big gap here.
So medicine didn't even have a baseline of what excessive gas even means. That's just a self-reported thing up until your study, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like they're not objectively measuring it, so they're just relying on patient self-reports.
And the studies that got these reports, they basically got it wrong. The number that doctors had in mind was, 14 times a day. But they didn't actually know that. They didn't actually measure the things, did they?
They used rectal tubes to measure that one, but it was like a couple dozen people in the 1980s. So we have no modern measurements of flatus.
Okay, let's talk about this device, because this is probably the best use of technology. We talk about AI maybe ruining the world with super soldiers, this, that, and the other. But how does the tech work? Like, it's a little thing that snaps onto my underwear?
Totally. So it works with any underwear. Bring your own underwear. So it attaches adjacent to the perineum with a snap.
Okay.
It fits in that space. Most people find it comfortable. In fact, very few people have ever quit because it's uncomfortable. You actually, people quit because they forget about it. Then they wear it into the ocean, for example. So it's so comfortable, people forget about it. It sits there adjacent to the perineum, and it measures the gas present in flatus. And what's really interesting is that farts are composed primarily of gut microbial metabolites, hydrogen and carbon dioxide. And we measure the hydrogen present in the fart.
So it's not just the number of times a day. The gas that's in there can tell us things about how healthy our stomachs and our gut, the bacteria in our stomach, our gut microbiome is?
Exactly. It can tell you how active the microbes are. So if you're farting a lot, your microbes are very active. If you're not farting a lot, they're not very active.
We want active microbes, don't we? But I guess we don't want overactive microbes.
I think you nailed it. You don't want overactive microbes. Fiber is really good and it increases microbial activity. But our question is, what if you could eat a healthy high fiber diet without experiencing excess intestinal gas? And we think, people will be able to eat healthier if that's the case. But right now we just don't know how to do that.
Okay, so we're figuring out health stuff, but we got to get back to the number of times a day. How many times a day is average? How many times a day is an outlier? Like, what did you actually find out? Now that you're actually measuring the gas, getting these numbers new to science, what did you discover?
In our paper, we found 32 times a day was average. I don't know if that's going to maintain over the entire US population, but I can tell you like a secret right now in our study, more than 100 people have completed it, and the average is 38 right now. We've also seen someone farting more than 300 times a day.
Okay, guilty as charged. I didn't know someone must have inserted those in my underwear. I have IBS, by the way, so this hits close to home. Can I get one of these devices? Like, are you planning on going to market with them?
Yeah, we do have a company called Ventosity, has licensed the tech from the university. In the academic embodiment, it's called the Smart Underwear, and the commercial embodiment, it's called Ventos. But we're happy to send you one from the Human Flatus Atlas right now, so
oh my
expect one in your
goodness.
mail.
Side note, I'm looking for a sponsor for this show. So, this is a perfect... Let's talk about hydrogen. Let's talk about the gases. We have to make this a little bit educational. Is hydrogen, is the microbiome, is it basically like the system's exhaust pipe? There's fermentation going on. What composition of gas would I want to be a healthy individual?
That is a great way to put it. I've never heard someone say the exhaust pipe, but it is the exhaust of microbial metabolism. And so there's alternatives though. So gut microbes can reduce protons to produce hydrogen, or they could reduce other organic molecules that don't produce gas and have no symptoms associated. So we're trying to figure out how to switch from basically hydrogen production to something else that causes fewer GI symptoms.
Okay, let's talk about the variation in the study. What would be the lowest number of toots that you recorded in a day?
We caught someone farting only 3 times a day. And what's amazing is they were eating a healthy high fiber diet. So we have no idea how that's happening. Like,
oh my goodness. So
unknown to science.
There's a lot to study here. And do you think it's just because, your colleagues might have laughed at you in the past, or it's just too embarrassing, or no one dared to ask the big questions here? Like, why didn't we know this until now?
I think it's too embarrassing. I think people kind of couch it as bloating when they go to their doctor, but they're not willing to share that, they're farting all the time. So we want to kind of open up the conversation and say, it's okay to talk about farts. It's a normal part of your digestion, but also it might be excessive. And so when it's excessive, how do you know when it's excessive? How do you seek help? And we're trying to kind of help people understand that by setting a baseline of what's normal.
Speaking of that baseline, did you categorize people into different buckets? We've got the 3 times a day person. Maybe it's true. Maybe there's a woman out there who doesn't fart. Some women claim that. I don't believe it's true, having lived with women. Okay, so we got the infrequent person. We got the frequent person. What are the buckets?
Yeah, so we call the infrequent people Zen digesters, and we call the opposite spectrum hydrogen hyperproducers.
Oh my good, you guys are having fun with this.
Totally. And we have these medallions that we give to the top 3% and the bottom 3% of farters. So if you participate in the Human Flatus Atlas, one of the incentives is to be in the top 3%. You get this cool plaque.
Whoa, Brandley. Human Flatus Atlas?
Yes, sir. That's the name of our study.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That might be the most gloriously named scientific project I've ever heard. What does the Atlas look like? Are you trying to map out people's gas across all of humanity?
Exactly. We're starting in the US, but we're going to go global.
I wonder if people around the world, like different diets, different, I don't know, bacteria that might be in local food might change it across the world. There's so many big, open, huge questions here.
You're exactly right. And the kind of the social aspect of farts is different. Like in Asia, there's less stigma to farting and they kind of just let them rip. But in the United States, there's a lot of stigma. So I think people are holding it during work. So we've seen some people who hold their farts during work, then they go home and they're farting a lot, or farting a lot on the weekend, but not during the weekdays. And that pattern is probably different in different countries based on the social stigma of farts.
Brantley, you must be a joy to have at dinner parties. Zooming out though, we've been joking. Well, mostly I've been joking. You've been communicating some real science here. Your research is really about understanding the gut microbiome in real time. Do you think measuring this, knowing more about us could help doctors, I don't know, diagnose gut diseases or personalized diets for people to make them healthy? What are some of the implications of your research? Yeah,
that's a perfect question. It's totally our ambition. We don't have FDA approval as this to use this as a medical device at the moment, but we're trying to go there. And imagine a Fitbit for farts. A doctor would send a patient home with this device, and they could know whether they're farting 200 times a day or 4 times a day. And they would be able to tell, what type of intervention might be appropriate. The 200 times a day person might benefit from a dietary intervention. The 4 times a day person, if they were experiencing, bloating and excess gas, might benefit from a mental health intervention.
Brantley, where can people find out more about you, your research, and the Human Flatus Atlas?
Our website is flatus.info. You can go there and enroll in the study.
Well, Brantley Hall is a microbiologist and professor at the University of Maryland. Brantley, it has been an utter joy having you on the show. In my mind, you're up there with Einstein, Newton. You're one of the great scientists of this century. Thank you for being here.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.